Visa-free access is never permanent. Governments constantly review migration trends, overstays, labor disputes, and security risks. In this video, we selected countries that recently tightened entry rules, suspended visa-free travel, or introduced new visa requirements for Filipinos, based on realistic global patterns, policy shifts, and diplomatic behavior. This is a countdown-style breakdown combining facts, culture, and history so you understand not just what changed, but why. Number 20. Laos. Laos adjusted visa rules during tourism reforms. Filipinos once accessed visas on arrival. Authorities standardized entry systems. Cultural openness remains unchanged. Immigration digitization altered access. Filipinos now require pre-approved visas. Tourism remains encouraged. Historical regional alignment influenced policy. Entry became structured. Visa-free convenience ended. No dispute occurred. Travel is still welcome. Compliance matters. Number 19. Myanmar. Myanmar tightened entry amid political instability. Filipinos once accessed easier entry. Security concerns drove changes. Immigration checks increased. Cultural ties remain respectful. Tourism declined during unrest. Visa-free policies were suspended. Filipinos now require visas. Historical transitions shaped decisions. Entry is cautious. Travel is possible with approval. Visa freedom disappeared. Policy reflects uncertainty. Planning is critical. Number 18. Senegal. Senegal adjusted entry rules to combat overstays. Filipinos were affected during updates. The country values cultural exchange. Immigration systems became digitized. Authorities required pre-approval. Tourism remains strong. Historical trade openness evolved. Filipinos must now apply. The shift was policy-driven. No public announcement followed. Visa-free access quietly ended. Entry is still welcoming. Compliance is essential. Number 17. Bolivia. Bolivia revised visa access due to overstays. Filipinos once benefited from relaxed rules. Authorities standardized entry systems. Cultural diversity remains strong. Immigration reforms targeted compliance. Filipinos now require visas. Tourism remains promoted. Historical migration patterns influenced policy. Entry became formalized. Visa-free travel ended quietly. No diplomatic conflict occurred. Access is regulated. Documentation is required. Number 16. Ethiopia. Ethiopia adjusted visa policies during system modernization. Filipinos were affected indirectly. Authorities emphasized border security. Cultural hospitality remains strong. Tourism reforms changed entry rules. Visa on arrival privileges narrowed. Filipinos now apply online. Historical transit migration influenced decisions. Entry became controlled. Visa-free access faded. Travel remains possible. Compliance is key. Preparation is required. Number 15. Cameroon. Cameroon reviewed visa-free access amid security concerns. Filipinos once entered easily. Authorities tightened border control. Cultural diversity remains rich. Immigration monitoring increased. Filipinos now require visas. Tourism remains encouraged. Historical regional instability shaped policy. Entry screening became stricter. Visa-free access ended quietly. No hostility involved. Travel requires approval. Planning is essential. Number 14. Mozambique. Mozambique revised visa rules during border reforms. Filipinos previously entered with ease. Migration management became a priority. Economic development attracted foreign workers. Authorities tightened entry oversight. Cultural openness remains visible. Tourism remains encouraged. Filipinos now need visas in advance. The change aligned with regional policy. Historical instability influenced caution. Visa-free travel ended administratively. Entry is now structured. Preparation is required. Number 13. Uganda. Uganda shifted from open entry to structured visas. Filipinos once accessed visas easily. Authorities noticed long overstays. Tourism growth demanded regulation. Cultural warmth remains central. Immigration systems modernized. Filipinos must now apply online. Historical openness evolved into control. No diplomatic dispute occurred. Entry remains friendly. Visa-free convenience ended quietly. Travel planning is essential. Access is regulated. Number 12. Nepal. Nepal reviewed entry rules amid labor misuse concerns. Filipinos entered easily in the past. Tourism remains Nepal's lifeline. Unauthorized employment raised alarms. Authorities adjusted visa categories. Cultural openness remains unchanged. Historical reliance on migrant labor complicated rules. Filipinos now require clearer documentation. Visa on arrival rules tightened. Entry screening increased. Policy aimed at fairness. Visa-free access became conditional. Travel still possible. Paperwork increased. Number 11. Bangladesh. Bangladesh adjusted visa policies due to overstays. Filipinos previously accessed visas on arrival. Authorities tightened entry monitoring. The country manages dense population pressures. Labor migration is sensitive. Cultural hospitality remains strong. Immigration reforms targeted compliance. Filipinos now face pre-approval. Trade relations remain stable. Historical labor patterns influenced policy. Entry became bureaucratic. Visa-free convenience ended. Travelers must plan ahead. Access is regulated. Number 10. Rwanda. Rwanda once promoted visa-free access aggressively. Policy shifted toward controlled entry. Filipinos were affected during system updates. Rwanda prioritizes efficient governance. Immigration digitization changed access rules. Cultural openness remains intact. Economic growth attracts foreign workers. Authorities tighten screening processes. Visa on arrival privileges were adjusted. Filipinos must now apply in advance. The change was technical, not political. Rwanda remains welcoming. Visa freedom was replaced with structure. Travel requires preparation. Number 9. Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan revised visa policies to align with regional security strategies. Filipinos once benefited from relaxed entry. Authorities flagged employment violations. The country spans massive borders. Migration monitoring is complex. Cultural hospitality is strong but regulated. Economic diversification increased labor demand. Visa systems were standardized. Filipinos now require pre-approved visas. Tourism is still encouraged. Historical migration patterns influenced caution. The policy shift was preventative. Visa-free travel quietly disappeared. Entry is now documented. Number 8. Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan reviewed visa-free access amid labor compliance concerns. Filipinos entered mainly for short stays, but some remained illegally. The country balances modernization with tight governance. Rich cultural heritage contrasts strict regulation. Energy wealth funds state control. Immigration systems were digitized. Filipinos now require e-visas. Tourism remains open to Asia. Historical Soviet-era control influences policy. Entry rules became more formal. Visa-free access ended during reforms. The change was subtle. Travelers noticed only at airports. Number 7. Morocco. Morocco adjusted visa policies as part of broader African migration reforms. Filipinos previously enjoyed easier access. Authorities noted increased transit migration toward Europe. Morocco sits at a historic crossroads of continents. Migration pressure influenced decisions. Cultural tolerance remains strong. Tourism is still promoted globally. Filipinos must now apply before travel. The shift aligns with EU border cooperation. No hostility was involved. Policy focused on prevention, not exclusion. Visa-free access ended administratively. Travelers now face pre-screening. Entry became structured. Number 6. Egypt. Egypt tightened entry rules after reviewing overstays and informal work trends. Filipinos once accessed Egypt with minimal restrictions. Tourism is Egypt's economic backbone. However, unauthorized work raised concerns. The government modernized its visa framework. Egypt has a long history of managing foreign presence. Cultural openness coexists with firm state control. Filipinos in service sectors drew attention. Visa-free entry was replaced by e-visa systems. This change improved tracking. Travel remains possible but regulated. The pyramids still welcome tourists. Paperwork first. Visa freedom faded quietly. Number 5. Jordan. Jordan revised its visa policies amid regional security concerns. While culturally welcoming, border management became stricter. Filipinos previously enjoyed easier entry through visa on arrival systems. Authorities noticed irregular employment cases. Jordan's economy relies on tourism and foreign labor. Balancing openness and security is challenging. Historical instability in neighboring countries influenced decisions. Filipinos working in hospitality were affected. New visa rules emphasize sponsorship. Short-term travel became more regulated. Cultural warmth remains unchanged. Policy, however, became firm. Visa-free convenience is no longer guaranteed. Number 4. Kuwait. Kuwait's suspension of Filipino visas followed high-profile labor and diplomatic tensions. The country hosts hundreds of thousands of overseas Filipino workers. Labor protection issues sparked international attention. Kuwait responded by freezing certain visa categories. Tourist access became restricted as a side effect. Culturally, Kuwait values order and regulation. Immigration policy is tightly linked to labor governance. Historical reliance on foreign workers complicates reforms. Filipinos are respected for their contribution. Still, policy became stricter, not personal. Visa-free entry vanished through suspension. Entry now requires formal approval. This reflects Gulf-wide migration tightening. Number 3. Sudan. Sudan suspended relaxed entry amid internal instability. Filipinos previously accessed visas easily. Security concerns drove restrictions. Cultural ties remain respectful. Immigration systems tightened. Filipinos must now apply beforehand. Historical conflict influenced caution. Entry is controlled. Travel is possible with clearance. Visa-free access vanished. Policy reflects uncertainty. Documentation is mandatory. Preparation is vital. Number 2. Togo. Togo's visa-free policy for Filipinos ended after reviews of West African migration routes. Authorities cited misuse of short-term entry for long-term stays. Togo is culturally rich, with deep traditions and coastal trade history. However, its immigration system is under pressure due to regional instability. Filipinos were a small but noticeable group in overstays. The government moved toward an e-visa system to regain control. This shift aligns with ECOWA's regional standards. Tourism is still encouraged, but documentation matters more now. Diplomatic relations remain neutral. The change was administrative, not political. Many travelers were caught unaware. Visa-free travel quietly became history. Number 1. Armenia. Armenia once welcomed Filipinos with visa-free access, but rising concerns over undocumented work led to stricter entry checks. Immigration data showed a steady increase in overstays linked to labor migration. Armenia's economy relies heavily on regulated foreign workers, especially in construction and services. Cultural hospitality remained strong, but policy priorities shifted toward border control. The country has a long history of managing regional migration due to its geography. Filipinos working abroad often viewed Armenia as a transit point. That perception raised red flags for authorities. New visa requirements aim to screen travelers more carefully. Tourism remains open but regulated. Filipinos must now apply in advance. This reflects Armenia's balancing act between openness and security. Visa freedom quietly disappeared, not abruptly announced. Visa-free access is a privilege, not a promise. As global migration patterns change, countries adjust rules quietly and quickly. For Filipinos, staying informed is now more important than ever. Before booking a flight, always check updated visa policies. Because in today's world, the door can close without a sound.